You're thinking about buying and you can't afford to buy. You've had a closing disclosure and you've seen it's going to cost you way too much to buy. Let me talk about closing disclosures. They are not accurate. The closing disclosure is not what you are going to actually bring to closing. I know, and you're like, Aubra, why then do they give me a closing disclosure? Well, first of all, ask our federal government, ask your lender. What happens is they have to disclose to you all of the costs that it takes to close, all the fees that happen at closing. However, what they don't tell you and what they don't explain on all the line items is that several of those things are sellers' costs, not buyers' costs. And I just had a buyer recently who was talking to their lender, and the lender's like, oh, just trust me. I'm like, okay, let's sit down and go through this line by line and talk about property taxes, for example. Those are the seller's costs, not yours. They're giving you a credit for those charges for the time that they've lived there. So you're starting your escrow account. Yes, that's a cost to you, but the seller's giving you a credit for it. Then you've got transfer fees and recording fees. Those are seller's costs here in our market. Of course, it changes by every market. There are a lot of different things on that closing disclosure that are not your costs. So don't let that scare you. Don't let it make you feel like you can never buy. I have had 3 instances in the last week. One person was told they needed to bring $2,700 and they got $11 credit. Another person was told they had to bring over $9,000 and they had to bring $1,000. Another person thought they were bringing $15,000 and they ended up bringing almost $3,000. So there is a huge discrepancy from what the closing disclosure says to what your settlement statement says. So sorry, this is what happens when you're recording live video. So when you get your closing disclosure, do not panic, do not have a heart attack, do not go get a check yet. Wait. Because when you get your actual settlement statement, your closing documents, that is going to have the final number on it. I know you won't get that until probably a day or 2 before. They are legally required to send you that closing disclosure 3 days prior to closing, but it is not necessarily accurate. I can almost guarantee you 99.9% of the time, it is not going to be accurate because there are always fees on there that are actually seller's charges. It's just that the federal government requires that all the fees get disclosed to the buyer, even when they're not their fees. Because also remember, every market is different. Location. In some markets, buyers might pay different fees. In other areas, taxes are done differently. So it is very different in every different area. Let's talk about your closing disclosure. Don't have a panic attack. If you're not sure, keep asking your lender questions. If you're not sure still, come talk to us. We are here to talk to you about it and help you understand that. We know that you can buy, and we will help you through this process.